By the end of this video, you're going to see a real day in the life of a remote property investor. So I'm on the road at the moment, and in this video, I'm going to share with you, we've got a live active deal what we've got from our AI automation director vendor stuff. So I'll show you a little bit around how we're getting these deals. I've got some calls with some of the leads that we've got coming in. I'm going to view a property that I completed on just before Christmas. We're putting a social housing provider in there. So I'm going to show you through the viewing, what we're doing and stuff like that. I've got another property I've just signed off to social housing provider, a commercial building that we've got a tenant for that I needed to take some of the stuff out from. I'm also going to show you a live call with an investor so we can try and sell this deal as well, because we've got a lead that's come through at the moment, and then we're going to look at an off-market deal as well while we're up there and see if we can sell this deal while we're up there. The landlord wants to put it on the market and try and get this sold Monday, but I've asked him to delay it. I'm going to see if we can get it sold over this weekend before he puts it on the market. Both of them are social housing deals. So watch this all the way through. There's going to be a load going on. I'm going to show you how I do this remotely on the road. And I've got Ian with me, one of my partners who works on the sourcing side, coming along. One, because I'm still training him up to learn a little bit. He's going to be my cameraman today as well. And three, he's involved with a lot of these deals, like the deals that I'm involved with. He's involved with loads of these deals as well anyway. So you want to say hello, Ian? You might see him pop in and out throughout the day on this. So yeah, just about to jump on with an investor. I'm on my way up to North. We're halfway up, stayed here last night, and what I'm gonna do is jump on an investor. We've got a direct to vendor deal that's come through, so I'll jump on with this investor. Okay, mate. How's it going? Mate, the main reason I want to do it on Zoom and rather a phone call is I could just show you the property, walk you through it a little bit.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit.
Kai's up for it, gonna send someone £1,000 deposit. Just got to send him the details. I think I'll pass it over to you. So I'll drop Kai a message to say what we need from Kai is the email address, proof of funds, proof of ID, and so forth. Fantastic. So we're gonna instruct solicitors. So solicitor we want to instruct from the power team is Mary from South Wales for Kai, and we want to advise that guy to use Alison Vine. All guns are blazing. So today we've just got to get on that guy, make sure we get him signed up. He said that he's 100% happy to go forward, subject to obviously getting them internals. So the next steps we want to do now is ideally either want to get a builder out, or how far are you from Wales anyway?
2.5 hours. I've got a call with him at 10:30. I've called him this morning already.
Oh, have you? Yeah.
Jumped on that, and then I tried getting the video call, didn't answer, so I called him normally, and then basically said, are you ready to jump on a call, or can we jump on a call, a video one, it'd be easy for yourself.
Yeah, what time's that?
10:30. He said 10:30, 11, he'll be back, so I should be able to do that then. Okay,
yeah, I think we could get there for about 11. If not, we'll just stop off on some sort of services. Yeah. So if you just message him saying we're driving on the road, so we should be there for about 10:30, 11. Yeah. We'll message you as soon as we're there. We'll get that video call done. That's great because I can be there with you and we can look through it. Just say my partner's going to be with us, so we'll look through it together. Yeah, great. All guns are blazing.
Fantastic.
Good stuff, mate.
Good news, yeah, brilliant.
Just pulled up to this property here. On this estate, I own 3 properties. We've bought 4, one sourced onto an investor. This one I bought with a sitting tenant in it. It's this one right here. I bought it for 39k. It needed a light refurb doing to it. It had a sitting tenant social housing provider in this, and the social housing provider, we've got a lease with them for 5 years, so it's guaranteed rent, no voids, no maintenance. The refurb on this, what we're gonna spend is probably about 5k just tidying it up. I'm gonna go in depth of what a refurb costs. If you look in the description, I've got a full breakdown of what it costs to do the windows and everything on there, but that video will be in the description. Let's come in and show you around. So as I said, I've done a full video on breaking down the refurb of this. It's going to be a very light refurb. When you do refurbs, what you got to do is make sure you do the refurb specific for the tenant profile that's going to take this property. Where we sourced this property initially 8 or 9 years ago, this was in great condition, and the tenant profiles of these properties specifically are ex-convicts, drug addicts, vulnerable tenants. So they tend to have a little bit of higher wear and tear. I'm not judging anybody on how they live, but they tend to have a higher wear and tear. So you want to have that in mind when you do the refurbs of these properties. So this, for example, we're not going to change the carpets, we're going to get them cleaned. We're going to get bigger bars on these carpet things down here because they're a bit scruffy around these bits, but a wider bar on there will just sort that out. We're going to get the property fully whitewashed and painted. Like, even though the property's empty, I'm still receiving rent because they put their tenants in. I have nothing to do with the tenants. So it's down to them to clean this. It's down to them to fix all this. They fix the repairs anyway on these, but we are going to update the kitchen because I want to BRR it. Properties in this area typically I do sell for around 65-ish K. We put a new boiler in as well a little while ago, so it's a bit more than that. Probably spending about 7K in total on this property. We'll get it up to a standard to be able to get a revaluation at 65K. I've done a vendor finance on this one. I'm gonna do a completely separate video explaining that. I bought this with a credit card theoretically, so in the description as well, have a watch for that video. But basically the vendor financed me on it. He didn't have any debt on this. I've took over the property. Once I get this refinanced, I will pay him back. So we were just waiting for a little gap in between tenants. We would have done the kitchen around him if not, but we were waiting for a little gap. It's a perfect time to get the work done and we'll get it revalued. And off the revaluation, I'll remortgage it 75% of the 65K, pay back the investor, paying back his interest. What I did do on this as well is I got it for 39K, but we're paying him some fixtures and fittings as well on top of that. So keep it under the stamp duty threshold. And I'm gonna pay him some interest because he was vendor finance. We'll pay him a little bit more towards this property.
Hello, Lee.
Harvey.
Hey, obviously, I'm going to see it myself, but does it need any work or anything like that, Lee?
No, the work's been done apart from the back window, which we've got to sort out. Everything's been done.
Cool. I'll keep you updated with that. We can give a choice, tenanted or not. What we might do, Lee, I know you don't like dealing with them, NACRO, but we might directly speak to NACRO and we just deal with that side of it. I feel it will be more sellable. But rent-wise, what do you think the rent is around there at the moment? 650, 675?
6,700 quid, yeah. 650, 700 quid.
Yeah, okay. No worries. No worries.
All day long now, you know, they're getting 725 or something.
Yeah, for sure. All right, mate, no worries. Leave it with me. We'll get some stuff out there. We'll get it out to the list today and we'll see if we can get some buyers on it.
All right, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate.
So that's a direct to vendor off-market deal. Somebody in my network that I already know. It's a landlord setting up. Obviously, as you heard, he's putting it on with agents, but we're going to see if we can try and get this sold beforehand. Obviously, we can then make the fee out of it as well. This is an off-market deal. He's putting this on the market on Monday. So I'm going to have a quick little look around and then I'm going to do a quick live on my Instagram. One of the big things you've got to understand to grow your business, and one of the main reasons I come up here, because everything I can do remotely. And one of the main reasons I come up here was to create content. And this is why I've actually got loads of different t-shirts. I'm taking my jacket off. I've got a different jacket on just to make it look a little bit different on the different forms of stuff that I'm doing. But creating content is really, really key. I could do all of this from remote, but I've come up here primarily for the content. There's lots of work I can do and it does help being up here. I do enjoy coming up here and looking at the properties in person, but all can be done remotely. So let's go in. So it's the standard buy to let. White walls, grey carpets. You've got a decent sort of gloss kitchen in here, little utility area. Boy, looks all right. This is just rent decent. This is a decent area. Rental demand around here is pretty decent. So what I'm about to do now is I'm going to create some content on my phone. I'm going to put it onto my Instagram and see if we can drive any traffic into this to see if we can get this sold before Monday. Might happen, might not happen. He's not selling it massively cheap or anything like that, so it might not. Some people just like off-market deals and a turnkey, because this is just a turnkey deal. So there's no discounts around this. It's just a turnkey decent rental for somebody who's looking for a decent return on capital. The angle that I'm going to use on this as well is I know we've got a social housing provider that would take this property off of us. So the guaranteed rent and the turnkey property might interest somebody. So let's go outside. I'm going to show you the content I make and we're going to post that straight away and see if we can get this deal sold. This is an off-market turnkey deal, potentially has got a social housing provider that is interested in this property. Let's go in and show you around because it's ready to rent out. It's kitchen, all done nicely like that there. We've got a decent area, desirable area, bedroom. DM me and let me know you're interested. We'll get some information over you and see if we can match you with this deal before it goes to market.
Positive thing is, he's not a property investor trying to run a lettings business. He runs a lettings business and he does a few property investments. I think he could manage properties, but he's very hands-on. So if he scales, he's gonna have a problem, you know, like, but at the size he's at the moment, it's pretty good. So say if you've got a handful of properties, I would probably trust this guy. What he lacks in systems, he massively like ticks the boxes on that side of the equation. He's not looking to aggressively scale. Today we just sold a deal from the AI automation. So we've been spending $5 a day on Facebook ads. We've got it going into go high level, an AI bot tracking them. We've not fully developed it, but it's automated massively, you know, now. We just agreed a deal yesterday and I sold it today to an investor. So it's the first one from AI automation, but I have got an incentive to do it for my own properties and for my training as a whole. He's well keen for it. We had a really good synergy. So yeah, it could work really well. Just in the hotel now, checked into our second hotel and I've just had a sales call for my D2B Academy. Ian has been in the academy and he's progressed in. He's actually working with us now and he's up here recording, being a cameraman. Plus Ian
Ian's the front end of doing these deals. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to phone up a few of these leads that have come in through the AI automation setup that we've got in place. Ian, if you just want to run me through what the deal we've got there, what couple of deals we've got in, and just give me a heads up, and then I will give these a call in a second.
Yeah, so we've got a couple to call. This is an off-market property in London, 2-bed terrace house, which he's sent across some pictures and told us why he wants to sell and how quickly he wants to sell.
Has he indicated how much he wants for it? And
not on that one, no. It's normally what I'd try and get off him on a call.
What did he say is the reason for sale?
Looking to buy a property in Nottingham. He's got a buy-to-let in London, looking for a property to buy in Nottingham. Didn't say whether the buy-to-let or for himself.
Welcome to the EE Boy.
So no answer. Part of this game is you've got to get used to people not answering. And what a lot of people do is answer once, he'll call me back, I don't want to pester him. You've really got to follow up. If somebody's engaged with you and got that far into the process of sending you details, you want to continuously follow up. The general rule of thumb is follow up somebody 7 times if they're engaged, 3 times if they haven't engaged with you. But somebody showing this level of interest and putting in photos shows us he is a super engaged person for this. I want to drop me a voice note as well, because a lot of people sometimes don't answer the phone to people they don't know. Hi Frank, it's Harvey here from Growth Buys Houses. You clicked on a Facebook ad of ours and you've had our growth bot ask you a few questions, and you've submitted the details of your property in London and some photos, which is amazing. Just trying to give you a call just now, just so we can just go through a few more questions, get an understanding, and see if we can match you with a buyer. We've got a large list of investor buyers. Just got some questions around the property, so I'll give you a call back in a little while, or if you can give me a call back in the next few minutes, because I have got a dash in a minute and jump in the car. So the reason I drop a voice note, it's more personalized, people can hear who you are, and it's more relatable. I'll just call him back. Deals are done in the follow-ups, so you've got to keep on following up and keep on persisting with this. Oh,
yeah, hello?
is it Frank?
Yeah, it's Frank. What's your name?
My name's Harvey. I'm from Growth Buys Houses. You clicked on our link about selling your house in London, mate. You're open to just answer a few questions? I know you've answered loads on the WhatsApp, so I'm not going to make you redundant and go through loads of extra questions.
Yeah, okay, go on, yeah.
We've got a large list of investors that look to buy properties. What we do is we advertise to see if people want to sell, as you see, and then once we find somebody who wants to sell, we then put it out to our list and see if we can match them with an investor. We don't charge you any fee. We get the fee from the investor. So obviously, rather than send it to an agent, you'll just save all on your fees and that. The property at the moment, you said it's tenanted in the chat. How much is the tenant paying, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, the tenant, what happened is, because the property over there is it's between 1,008 and 2,000 at the moment. Yeah. The tenant, 3 years ago, I wanted to sell the house. He didn't leave the house, so he's still there.
So is it a problem tenant? Is he paying at the moment, or?
Yeah, because I increased the what do you call it? What he's paying, but he didn't pay. He's paying the normal distance. Yeah. I increased it to 1,008, but he was still paying 1,550.
So you increased it to 2008, and now he's still paying how much, sorry?
He's still paying 1,550. So I've taken him to court now. So the bailiffs will have to come to the house, kick him out, and then get my money back. That's what they're saying.
And is he not paying anything at the moment? So is he still paying the 1,500, but just won't pay extra?
Yeah, 1,050. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay. And have you got court date with this?
Yeah, that's next month around 28.
Internally conditioned. You know the photos you sent us. Is that still that same condition?
Yeah. It's still the same.
In London at the moment, most investors are more interested in flips than buy-to-lets, because the return, like I noticed you put on there, you're interested in buying in Nottingham. The returns you get in other parts of the UK are much higher, but in London, people are interested in flips, and obviously it looks like it could be.
Yeah, at the moment I want to sell it like about 420. That's my price.
420 is your price. Okay, mate.
Anyone who can match it, then I get my money. That's it.
All we do is we just put it out. We've got a really large list of investors. We don't find anybody. It's nothing sort of gained, nothing lost, if that makes sense. We want to do desktop analysis to see if we feel it's realistic. If it is realistic, we'll give you a call back, walk you through the next steps. It probably will be Ian.
No problem.
Amazing. Been an absolute gent, mate. Bye-bye. Something like this might sound more like an assisted sale, even at 475 and 420. It needs work on it to get it to a really tip-top condition. But yeah, these are leads, and this is exactly how you get deals at high volume. Get the lead in, we'll put this now into the CRM system, it'll automate and follow them up, and we'll also follow up with them and see if we can get a deal out of this. So just driving around here, this is like a really nice little spot. Stuff around here rents for about £800 to probably £900 a month. Completed on this one just before Christmas as well, so not long ago, and ultimately, just the rents was really, really low, like just where it hadn't been like adjusted for a while. There was a little bit of a mistake with the management. We only get £700 a month rent for that at the moment, it should be more, at least 850. But what we have to do is just incrementally creep it up bit by bit, and which we will do. It's just a great asset. This is an area where there's been some decent growth. Like this will give you probably a good 6% year on year growth. It's a different style property. It doesn't give you a stronger yield. It does give a good capital appreciation. We're still on this Roseworth. As I said, we bought quite a few on this street. This is one of the ones that I was talking about that I've loaned a private loan against. This has got another social housing provider in there. What we had to do was renegotiate. The social housing provider wasn't paying enough. They wasn't giving us the fixtures and fittings. They wasn't repairing the stuff. So we renegotiated that anyway. And I think I've just come around to the wrong bit. That's why I just paused there. It is one of these little turns around here. It's one of these style ones, but I think it's on, it must be on the next little turn up here. So let's have a little walk up here and we'll see if we can find this. We actually nearly really come close to buying that. We was negotiating it last minute. We just got pipped by the post, but that would have been another good buy there. As I said, anything on this estate is really, really strong buys, but it's come to the wrong place. We've just got to go to the end of the road. So let's jump in, let's take you to the one that I've completed on just recently. Yeah, just recently completed on it. As I said, had the sitting tenant in there. It can do with a little bit of tidying up. We can see they're in there as that one, so we're not going to stand too much here and invade them. Funny enough, I think a car crashed through here the other day and broke the fence, or something happened with the police, but we had to fix that because negotiation is still in place. We're going to end up increasing the rent on this. We probably do a little bit to it. We probably have a little bit of an uplift on what we purchased it for. 55 plus fixtures and fittings. It needs work doing to get it to the true market value. If we've done some work to it, probably be worth around 100, but it does need probably, it's rentable, especially to a social housing provider, and at this stage, I'm just going to park money into it. I might be able to get it financed a little bit more, but I might be able to get a tiny bit more on the finance on it. As it stands at the moment, I'm just parking money in this one, just getting the rents increased. So that's that one there. On that street just there, we've bought 3, 1 for an investor, 2 for myself as well. And if you go 1 street behind that, we've got 1. We've bought quite a lot on here and we're still actively buying, as you can see. It is probably my favourite estate up here. We sourced this deal on here to an investor, and it's a funny one. This deal was a really good condition. Not condition, it was really nicely done. It had a nice kitchen, it had a nice bathroom, but what they've done is they turned the 3rd box bedroom into a bathroom and the main bathroom into an ensuite. So they turned it to a 2-bedroom. Bought it for like 70 odd grand, and there's a heavy smoker in there, and that house was just grubby, and we bought it for 70 grand, and instantly at the time it worked just with a really deep clean, tidy up, and then turning that box room back into a bedroom from a bathroom and into a 3-bedroom again. It instantly jumped up. I think we only spent about 5 grand on it. It went from 78 grand to about 110, and then since the capital growth, they're about 140, 150, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 160 around there now. But the strange thing is, just a stone's throw away, we were going to show you this property we just sourced on now. This road used to be bad, but it has really, really improved because Norton as a whole has jumped up. So it's had that effect where, that ripple effect where it's taken up the bad roads. But this shows you that that road's one was at the time 110. This road you wouldn't buy in at the time, and you could throw a stone, like where that garage is right at the end there, you can literally throw a stone over into the gardens into this road, and the houses on this road were at the time like 40 grand and it's not great. They're now uplifted, and these houses around here, like the one we've just sold on to our list of investors, is 77 grand. We'll go in and we won't go in because there's a social housing tenant in there already, but could he show you that now? Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is. It's either number 6 or number 7, but there's a tenant in there now anyway. So this is in legals at the moment. We've sourced this on to a investor in our investor list. It was a turnkey deal at market value, 77k. As I said, the uplift on these around here have tremendously gone up. How we found the investor for it at a market value was 1, because the capital growth it's had, and number 2, because we placed a social housing provider in now. It's due to complete any time now, but in between exchange and completion, we got the social housing provider in now, and so the investor will actually inherit the property with a sitting tenant. So right, we're just coming up with this row of houses here. The one just up here, we bought this as 2 flats, but it wasn't split title, and we split the title on it. We've put a social housing provider in now. We had a bit of hassle at the start because the social housing provider only rented 1 of them, and ultimately the tenant that had it off of us, she was, how do I word this? I've been Section under the Mental Health Act, and so I've got nothing against anybody like this, but she had mental health problems. And it's hard to rent because that building now homes ex-convicts, so it's just not in a really, really great spot. So it was a great deal, to be fair. We bought it for 72, I think. I can't remember exact numbers. We do it all the time. It's around 72. We split the titles, fixed a bit of damp work in there, and then got it revalued at 90, and only left about 2 or 3 grand left in the deal.
Upstairs was one, a challenge to rent because of them flats there, and number two, because of the tenant downstairs used to always walk out with her boobs out. Like, and to be fair, I remember my partner at the time was like, I might go move in there, and like I said, you wouldn't want to, like, you've not compensated that she looks like a page 3 model, like, you're just like, put your top back on, please. This particular housing provider doesn't like renting 2 properties together. In the end, I went, look, you really need to, I know you don't like renting 2 together, but you really need to take that one off of us. So we've just got them to take the other one off of us. We've turned it around, we had to do a bit of work to it. Again, only light work. We do a bit of work to it. We've upped the rents on both of them, and we've got fully, like, repair, not fully repairing, but we've got a repairing lease on them. So I think now between the two, we get about £900 a month, but it did give us some problems, in and out tenant. It did take a while to get to that, and this is just the truth and the nature of it. I'm going to take to another one now that we've got problems, because being a landlord's not all rainbows, unicorns with butterflies. It does have challenges, but as I said previously, weigh up these challenges, you know, like, is it as challenging as getting up doing a 9 to 5? Everything's challenging in life, just pick your challenges. Like, for me, having to answer a few phone calls where they say, oh, boiler's broken, or tenant's paying around, or tenant's not paying, is not as much of a challenge as getting up and going to a job that I don't like. Each month I've got enough of a buffer. So like last month we had 2 boilers wipe out, £4,000. And then I realised, shit, there's them grants out there, because I totally forgot about it. I actually posted it over to my PA 2 months ago, said start looking into these grants, and then just totally forgot. And so did she, like, so I can't moan at her for forgetting, because I did. But yeah, £4,000 wiped straight out of the cash flow. And on another video, look out for it on my channel, I'm going to show you openly what it is. I'll show you my P&Ls, I'll show you the money going into my bank, I'll show you my software, where it's collected, where it's got all my equity and everything on there. And I'll show you, like, the company's house and what it looks like compared to them. So look out for that. But it's coming up to this building, it's a commercial conversion. Massive challenges with this one as well, because we overworked the builder. We had a great builder. We end up losing, so it's this building over here. That's Matty, my old partner. You see my growth properties in the bottom corner bit there. But we end up losing a relationship with that particular builder because we overloaded him with work. And ultimately, when you overload builders with work, sometimes it just breaks down relationships. But again, this was a hard learning curve. We bought it for £46,000. Behind here, it's full of smackheads. I remember parking here one day with a new staff member, and I was going into, because we used it as an office previously until we just sold the lettings business last year. I was sat there to walk around to the office to get some keys, and there's a hole in the fence. And we inherited this crackhead and heroin addict as a tenant. Like, a lady let him sleep on his sofa. My previous lettings manager before that lasted about 3 weeks. I ended up getting rid of her because she'd done things like this. She went, yeah, he's fine to stay in there. Didn't pay that rent from day one. He was a heroin addict, and he was selling heroin from that back gate. It was absolute blooming nightmare. Then we got him out, got another tenant in, got guaranteed rent on him and a guarantor, been good for years. But again, because of the nature of the area and what's behind it, it's only a certain profile tenant you can attract. Then he stopped paying, and then there was a mess up with the lettings. So when I had growth lettings initially, and then I sold a large proportion of that to Matty Brooklands, but I still kept sharing it and helped him run it, but I didn't do the day-to-day running anymore. And in the transition, the rent insurance didn't get claimed, and if you don't claim rent insurance quick enough, you then can't claim it anymore. And it took us like 36 months, especially with the load of work that got loaded over to Matty and the crossover to get this tenant out. And let's take you around here and I'll explain it a bit more, and I'll take you into the shop, because thankfully we just rented the shop out. I better lock the door here, because before as well, this is what the area is like. I always leave my door unlocked, and I left this door unlocked around there once. And I walked around the back, and there was a heroin addict in the car, scrummaging through everything. And I walked around to the car, and I was like, shit, what do I do? My heart's pumping. So I just put the hands on the door and said, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? So I said it in a bit of a playful tone, but in quite a serious tone, to gauge, is this going to be a fight, or is this going to be a thing? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, mate, I'm sorry, mate, I'm sorry, mate. So I opened the door and went like, come on, mate, piss off. And I said it jokefully, but still with a little bit of meaning behind it. And then he walked off down the road. I could see he was walking with his hand like that. I always got a load of change in my car. I was like, mate, you've got my change. And he went, that 60p was mine. And I was like, do you know what, mate? I'm just so grateful I didn't get into a confrontation for you, just keep it all. But yeah, I'll lock my cars here now every time anyway. But again, it was a steep learning curve. So what you'll do when you get into property, one of the big mistakes what I made is we was getting momentum in deal sourcing. We was getting a bit of momentum building my own portfolio. And I took too much on. I took a commercial conversion on. We took on a HMO, lettings business, and I just spun too many plates at once. And it really was nearly a downfall of me. This building took ages to complete. We fell out with the builder, who was a great builder previously. Just a headache. But anyway, now the apartments are rented out. Again, we've got decent tenants in there, guaranteed rent. The shop has rented out, so unfortunately the sign's going to go down. We sold this just recently for multi-six figures, which was a nice exit, and recovered some of the monies I lost over the years in the pain from it. But let's go in now. I need to sort the keys out. We've got a new tenant we're just referencing to go in the shop. It's going to be fully let. We've had a load of pain with it. And again, this is a story with social housing providers. They told us they're going to take both of these flats off of us. So this property sat empty for ages. We just about got that tenant out the back, and when we got him out, he'd shit in the corner, he'd just done loads of damage to it. So you had to spend a load of money, new kitchen, everything in there. And then this social housing provider said, hey, we'll take both of them off you, which thought, great, just guaranteed rent now. And then after it 4 months, dragging their heels, they went, oh, we don't want them anymore. So this is one of the downsides of social housing. So we've had no income on this for a while. I mean, spent a ton of money on that flat because the guy fucking shat in the corner. Sorry to swear, but yeah, let's take you in now and show you the shop and what we kind of done for you. I can't get you in the flats because that tenant's moved in. One of the biggest tips I can give you as well is put key code safes on every one of your properties. Make sure you only put one key into there. It just saves so much time and hassle running around. It's a simple hack, but it's such an easy thing. The minute we pick the keys up, often when I do this remotely, how we pick keys up, we tell the builder to pick up the keys from the agent, and straight away we say, go around to that property, put a key safe on instantly. So really, really big tip, really easy tip, but really, really important. I'm gonna show you the keys in here now. So we had a nightmare. I've got a bunch of keys, like when we first started the lettings, because as I said, we was taking on too much, didn't have systems in place, didn't know what I was doing, I spread myself too thin. It was an absolute nightmare. We didn't have them organised. We've got a bunch of keys where we don't know what doors they go into. But this was operating as a business last, as we just sold it. We've only sold, with a lettings business, you can either sell the whole business or you can just sell the landlord list, which we just sold the landlord list. So sad to see that this is no longer in operation, but we've got a new tenant that's going to move into here. So we've got to get it cleared out. Just wanted to check, the key safe was on the wall. So I need to check where the keys are. I think they might be with the new agent that we sold them over to. But cool, I still wanted to make a note of what's in here because we've got to get this cleared out, ran to my lockup. But yeah, this was one big shop and it was an owner occupier and a 1-bedroom flat upstairs. So we cut it off here and under permitted development, put a 1-bedroom flat at the back. Just come out of here because of the alarm now. But toilet here. And it's a great location, very good for a shop, very good presence. And then upstairs, we turned the 1-bedroom flat into a 2-bedroom flat. It's worth, we just had the 2 flats valued at 90 grand. It took a long while. We got this massively down valued. We bought it cash with a JV partner and we had it massively down valued as well. And left more money in this than we was expecting at the time. Had a battle with the builder, just challenge, make calls like it's a friend who was a JV, and like obviously caused a bit of friction between us as friends. Not horrible friction, but obviously it didn't go quite to plan. And even today, like as I said, because this building was empty for so long, we've stopped this in here. This has stopped the lettings business, stopped renting it. We didn't have no income. And the 2 other flats was owned by the same business we just passed. It wasn't enough to cover all the mortgages. We tried selling the shop. We had a headache with selling the shop. Someone went to buy it. Solicitor advised us badly when we went to buy it, sell the shop, because they said we could split this title and give them a freehold and we keep a freehold. And you just can't do that. And then the solicitor messed us around and we had to push really, really hard with the solicitor in the end to split the titles for free, because having the titles split now, at least we've got options with this. If we did want to keep the flats got valued at 90k. We've only got about late 50s, early 60s lending left on it. So we can get them valued. If we want to sell this shop, we can. We've got 2 options, but we put it up for let and sell and we've ended up letting it. So now it'll be just a cash flowing asset again, but the bank was in arrears. We had to top it back up money. And this is the realism of property. But over the long haul, often it usually irons itself out. But yeah, it was a bit painful and obviously awkward conversations with my partner, who's also a friend as well.